Alright, so this is my current top 10 for Switch 2 in 2026. I am picking games I actually want to keep coming back to, not just stuff that looks good in a trailer. Some of these are big names, some are a little more off the radar, but every single one feels like it belongs on the system. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade on Switch 2 feels like the cleanest way to replay Midgar on a handheld. I love how the combat sits right between action and strategy, so I am always moving but still planning. Swapping between Cloud, Tifa, Barret, and Aerith keeps fights fresh, and the big cinematic boss moments still hit hard. Intergrade also adds the Yuffie episode, which is basically a fun side dish that changes the pace with faster movement and cheekier vibes. If you missed this remake the first time, Switch 2 makes it easier to chip away at chapters in short sessions. And if you're a longtime fan, it is a cool excuse to hear those remixed themes again. Just be ready for a story that expands characters you thought you knew and throws a few.
You guys good to go? As good as I'll ever be. Want some more?
Mario Kart World is the kind of game I boot up when I have 10 minutes or 2 hours. It always works. The tracks feel wider and more chaotic, and the new route variations keep me from sleep driving the same lines forever. Switch 2 performance makes the game feel snappy, especially when items start flying and the whole pack is crashing into corners. I also like how the online side pushes quick rematches, so you can chase a bad finish and immediately get revenge. If you are playing with friends in the same room, this is still the easiest way to turn any night into loud laughter without learning complicated controls. Pick a cart you like, learn one shortcut, and you are already having fun. And I still get salty, but then I queue again because it is addicting. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is my pick for that moody late-night session game. I have missed this style of first-person exploration on Nintendo hardware, where you are scanning walls, listening for weird alien sounds, and slowly mapping a place that does not want you there. Samus feels powerful, but the best moments are still the quiet ones, like spotting a hidden path behind Steam or a suspicious crack that begs for a missile. On Switch 2, the lighting and atmosphere really sell the lonely sci-fi vibe, and the controls feel tighter for aiming and swapping visors. I also love how Metroid rewards patience, because every new ability turns old rooms into new puzzles. If you want action with brains, this is the one. Just remember to backtrack. The game is built around that satisfying smart loop always. Animal Crossing New Horizons. Switch 2 Edition is basically comfort food for my brain. The core loop is still simple: check in, say hi to your villagers, then mess with your island until it looks like your own little postcard. What I like about the Switch 2 version is how it smooths out the little annoyances. Menus feel faster, loading feels shorter, and decorating does not feel like a chore. This is the game I recommend to people who do not even think they like games, because it is more about vibes than winning. You can fish, catch bugs, design outfits, or just stand there watching the sunset music change. And when friends visit your island, it turns into a tiny social hangout. It is gentle, silly, and weirdly calming. I start for 5 minutes and lose an hour easy. Donkey Kong Bananza feels like Nintendo remembering why Donkey Kong rules. Pure momentum and playful chaos. The platforming is chunky in the best way, where every jump has weight, and every roll forward feels like you are building speed for the next big stunt. I am into how the levels hide secrets in vertical spots, so you are not just moving left to right, you are climbing, smashing, and hunting bananas like a maniac. The music also does that classic trick where it sticks in your head after one stage. On Switch 2, the animations look extra expressive, and the game just feels responsive when you bounce off enemies and chain moves together. This is the kind of game I play when I want to smile, not a spreadsheet. If you grew up on old Donkey Kong, this energy returns. Dynasty Warriors Origins is my guilty pleasure pick because it is all about turning your brain off and mowing through armies. But what surprised me is how good it feels on Switch 2, with cleaner visuals and less slowdown when the screen gets crowded. The new approach to the story gives the big three kingdoms moments a bit more weight, so it is not only button mashing. Even if the button mashing is still the main event, I love grabbing a favorite weapon, jumping into a huge battlefield, and watching the combo counter climb while allies shout around me. It is also perfect for handheld play, since you can clear a mission, save, and move move on. When I need pure action comfort, this one delivers. Just do not expect deep tactics, expect spectacle, and you will have a great time. The Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond the Horizon is for my fellow story nerds, the people who get excited about world building more than graphics. Trails games are slow burns, but that is the point. You meet a huge cast, learn the politics, then watch everything collide in big payoffs later. Combat is turn-based with enough systems to keep me tinkering, like positioning, arts, and team combos, without turning into homework. On Switch 2, it is easier to sink into long sessions in bed, and the text is clearer, which matters in a dialogue-heavy series. I also love the cozy rhythm of doing side quests, bonding scenes, then heading into a dungeon. If you want a JRPG that feels like a long-running TV show, start here. Give it time, and those characters will feel like friends fast.
Time to close in.
MIO Memories in Orbit is the kind of indie surprise I love showing on the channel. It has that dreamy, slightly lonely tone, like you are exploring a beautiful place that is falling apart. The movement feels floaty but precise, and it scratches that Metroidvania itch, where you keep unlocking new abilities that open the map in smart ways. I am a sucker for games with strong art direction, and MIO nails it with soft colors, weird creatures, and backgrounds that look like painted sci-fi. On Switch 2, it looks sharp, and the frame rate stays steady, which matters when platforming gets spicy. If you like exploring, collecting upgrades, and piecing together a mystery without tons of dialogue, put this on your list. I cannot wait to see speedrunners break it, because the controls feel built for clever routes. Cairn is a climbing game, and yeah, that sounds niche, but hear me out. The whole loop is about reading the rock, choosing holds, managing stamina, and staying calm when your hands start slipping. It feels tense in a way most action games never do, because one bad move can send you swinging. What I like is how it turns the environment into the main puzzle. You are not fighting monsters, you are fighting gravity and your own panic. On Switch 2, the portability makes it perfect for short attempts, because climbing is basically a series of tiny decisions. The art style is clean and readable, so you can focus on the route. If you want something different, something that makes you breathe slower, Cairn is a cool pick. It is also weirdly beautiful, like a quiet documentary you control. Cult of the Lamb. Woolhaven is my favorite mix of cute and chaotic. One minute you are petting followers and decorating a cozy little base, and the next minute you are diving into roguelike runs, dodging bullets and bonking enemies with a cursed weapon. That contrast is the magic, and Woolhaven leans into it with more building options, weirder rituals, and plenty of silly moments that still feel strategic. On Switch 2, the extra horsepower helps when your cult gets big and the screen is full of little critters doing chores. I also like how it respects your time. Do a run, grab loot, come back, upgrade, repeat. If you want something funny, fast, and surprisingly deep, this is a great pick. Just do not get too attached when you have to make tough calls, because that happens a lot. That is my top 10 right now for Switch 2 in 2026. If you want, tell me your top 3 and I will do a follow-up list that is more niche, like hidden gems or best co-op. Also, if you are into games that flex visuals, I have a separate list of ultra-realistic looking stuff on the channel.